personal development. This is Robbie Frank coming at you. My mom is Robin Frank. My sister is Brittany Frank Goodwin. We're the part of the Frank Divas team. We wanted to start creating some personal development because I love personal development. I've been a part of it my whole life. Since I was a teenager, I've been listening to books. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars in coursework, going to seminars, life coaches. I'm just a big fan and I love it. So I just want to kind of get in here. We're going to start teaching some concepts more regularly and posting them here on the YouTube site. So something I want to focus on today is our state. Oh my gosh, this is honestly my favorite concept. And so we wanted to start out with this because it just totally lays the foundation of everything that we're going to do. Okay, so I'm a big Tony Robbins fan, so I'm going to be quoting and kind of pulling from some of this stuff that he does. But I just want to start off with talking about our state with some definitions that he's had, and then kind of talking about from my own kind of my own definitions, my own meetings, and then kind of what I've learned from my life coach. Alrighty, so something that Tony starts off with. Let's start off with the quote. It says, "The difference between a peak performance and poor performance is not intelligence or ability. Most often, it's the state that your mind and body is in." Pretty cool, huh? So the state that we're in is determines more from what we're in a current situation, how we're going to respond, how we're going to react. Okay, this next one. The state that you're in at any given moment determines your perceptions of reality and thus your decisions and behaviors. In other words, your behavior is not the result of your ability, but the state that you're in at this moment. Pretty cool stuff, huh? So I'm going to be looking over here, making sure I'm remembering all my notes, but we're going to be talking about the state and the power, literally, like the power that is in controlling and identifying your state and where you're at in a given day. Okay, so I'm kind of a Marvel nerd. I grew up watching X-Men on Saturdays. Like, big fan. I don't know. There's something about just guys raising those people just raising to their potential. Okay, I think that's something I just have always loved, and I feel like this is like our own superpower. Okay, if we can identify it and control it, it is like our superpower. So getting into this, so something I want to start out with is identifying it. Okay, so consider at any given moment in the day that you're on a spectrum from 1 to 10 on your state. Okay, so our state, again, just to kind of talk about it again for a second, it's kind of like our emotional resilience or mental clarity. It's kind of like how you're feeling for the day emotionally and mentally. Okay, so we're on a spectrum. Just consider for a second from 1 to 10 on the day. Okay, so it's kind of like our temperature, where we're at. Some days we wake up and it might be a Monday and you don't like going into work and you're at like a 2 or 3. And then guess what happens? Maybe you stub your toe on the bed. Then maybe you have a dog in the house and he chewed up the couch, and your kid spilled the milk in the morning, and you don't get your favorite energy drink in the morning. You're late for work. Your boss yells at you. What happens on that day? Your state starts to lower, right? But what happens on those days that it's like your birthday? What happens those days you get a promotion? Someone recognizes you, someone gives you a gift, someone calls you out of the blue and just like totally like goes off and like loves you. You get a hug, you're on vacation. Like, how do you feel in those days? Some of those days that you're just beaming and just feel like you can conquer the world. Can you imagine that? Like, can you feel that? Can you imagine? So 1, 2 is like very bad, and then 10 is obviously you're just loving it. Can you imagine controlling that and being intentional with either a low state or a high state? Who wants to feel at a 10 every single day? I do. Who wouldn't want to live and feel like that every single day? Okay? So really trying to identify, that's the first step, is just identifying and acknowledging where you're at in a given day. Because you could be at a low state and raise it in the morning, but then during the midday, you get the midday slump and you lower it again. So, okay, it's time to raise it again before I get back home to the kids, or before I go out and see family at night. Okay? So really trying to figure out, and so there's these two concepts I kind of want to get into, these two words: allowed, what state and number did you allow for the day, versus what you created. Okay? So allowed is really just what happens, and you're not intentional in trying to create a higher state from your emotional and mental state. Okay? So it could be like you wake up and, like my scenario before, you wake up, hit the snooze button a couple times, you're just like the day's not going well, the kids spill the milk, you're late for work, you get a flat tire. These things are like kind of like playing victim a little bit to your state, and you're not in control of it. Okay, you're just allowing it. But maybe on vacation, you're on vacation, you don't have to worry about work. You're out there. Maybe it's Disneyland, maybe it's the Bahamas, maybe it's something like one of your dream vacations. And how do you feel when you wake up? It's just easier to have a higher state, but you're still allowing a higher state. Okay, so the practice is being intentional from raising it from wherever you allowed it to creating a higher state. And even if it's a couple numbers, but what you really want to get to is the 10 every day. Can you imagine getting to a 10 every day? Oh my gosh. It is seriously like, it's something different. It's something else. Like, it has changed my life, this concept. And I will promise you, and this is what my life coach told me on my first call with him. He said, I promise you that, and this is what his life coach told him, I will promise you that if you apply this principle, you will not recognize yourself in a year. Pretty crazy, huh? So I was applying his concept. I really took it to heart, and I was really, really intentional with creating a higher state every single day. And looking back, once we got to a year mark, I look back, I'm like, I'm definitely a different person. And I want that for you, okay? So again, applying this, identify where you're at throughout the day and raising the needle. That's the purpose. Just raise the needle. Maybe if you just get a couple numbers, but again, the purpose, the priority, the most important thing you want to do every single day is get to that 10. Because at a 10, man, you're smarter, you're more intelligent, you're creative, you're confident, you're powerful. You can handle anything. And guess what? You at a 10 is going to be the highest type of contribution that you could do for anybody else. Okay? So you showing up for your kids at a 10, how do you show up? Like, if you're in a good state or a good mood when you get home from work and the kids spilled milk or do something crazy, hit the brother, hit the sister, how are you going to handle it when you're in a really good mood, good state, high state versus a lower one? You handle it differently. Just like Tony Robbins, his definition again, he says, your behavior is not the result of your ability, okay, but of the state that you're in at this moment. Your state is extremely important. Okay, so really focus on that, and really, like, when I before I go meet with my family, before I go to some of my church events, before I go on a date, before I go, wake up in the morning, I want to crush the day. And if I raise my state, man, I'm going to handle anything and everything way better. Way better. I'm more confident. I'm more creative. I'm going to handle the situations differently. Okay, so we want to make this a top priority in our day. Okay, so, and again, I promise you, you will not recognize yourself in a year if you apply this every single day. So really be intentional with pushing that to the next level. Okay, so I want to kind of get into just some of the ways that you can raise your state, a few affirmations, and some of the things that I do, some of the things I've been taught, and I just really challenge you to just apply this and take this hard. Just commit to it. I promise it'll change your life. It's changed my life. Okay, so how to raise your state. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do in the morning, it sounds crazy, I promise it does. It's kind of a little weird, but you got to just push past that kind of just like weird kind of feeling a little bit, just like me in the beginning, like the little woo. I mean, that was not me a couple years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. At high school dances, I didn't even dance. I felt super weird. I mean, my ego was coming out a little bit at the dances. I felt super weird. So it's kind of breaking out of that shell. Sometimes you feel it and you just got to let go of it. Okay, so waking up, I want you to just smile as big as you can. Like, when you're waking up, I haven't been the best morning person in the past, but you're just like smiling from grin to grin. Sometimes you're just like, just smiling, and it just feels so awkward, but for some reason you start laughing, and it's this idea that your brain cannot distinguish when you're moving your muscles. You kind of condition yourself. When you smile, it releases dopamine in your brain, okay, the feel good chemical in your brain. So the purpose of the morning and getting to that stent is flooding your brain with that dopamine. You want to feel good, okay? That's what you're trying to do. So smiling, it helps you feel happy. It sends that chemical in your brain that you're happy, okay? Then I just want you to close your eyes for a second as you're smiling and just imagine like the happiest, like your dream, your goals, your vision happening right now, or a happy moment, or something that you're thankful for in the past for a minute. Okay, maybe it's you and your family walking down. Maybe it's sunset. You're walking down the beach. You hear the waves crashing. you're all holding hands and just like you're all at a 10 and just loving life. Maybe it's you're a Disney person, you're just like just going from ride to ride, and every ride is just like you have the fast pass, you got the unlimited fast pass, just like one of these days, just like or you like crushing it in paparazzi and you're just freaking hitting Iconic and Empire Diamond and you're just up on stage just rocking it. Okay, imagine yourself and just really think through some of this stuff. Okay, so as you raise your state, I want you to really focus on some of these affirmations, and even something Tony says is incantations. You want something like a magician. He talks about a magician. What does a magician do? He chants it. He really feels. He gets into it. Because if you just say it, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy in a mirror all day, it's not gonna work. You got to add intensity or raising your state, emotional, with the repetition. Repetition is the mother of all learning. Okay, so some of the affirmations that I love that I've taught is the first thing, and I'm going to go into this concept of need and want in another video, but I have everything I need and everything else is extra and part of an exciting game. So is this idea of gamifying life. And if we gamify life, if you've ever played video games, I don't know how many of you had, but I played video games growing up. It's just, you can play full out a little bit more and it's funner. Life is more fun. Life is just overall, this is fun. It's happy. Okay. The next one is I am perfect. Say that again. I am not perfect and I am okay. Can you imagine that? It's not I am not perfect, but I'm okay. It's I am not perfect and I am okay. It's very, very intentional. And we're going to go into ego a little bit here later as well in another video, but it's very intentional. We were not designed or destined to be perfect in this life. Okay. It's very important. I am not perfect. Can you imagine giving yourself permission not to be perfect? Oh, man, I was a perfectionist all my life, and I had dealt with so much shame, so much guilt because I was not I'd always tried being the straight A kid. That's how I felt like I got my validation through life, is because I wanted to be this perfect person. But no one's perfect. So give yourself permission is I am not perfect and I am okay. Okay? So the next one, I am loved and I am loved and I love all those around me. Next one, I will play full out today. If you guys went to convention, John Gonzalez, he talked about this idea, the chip, going all in, and just what does it mean to go all in life and playing full out. I love my life. Another one, I love myself. I am full of light and I share that light with other people today. And the last one, one of my favorites besides I am not perfect and I'm okay, is I am the happiest I have ever been. Ooh, I just got chills. Seriously, can you imagine being at a 10 every day, being intentional, feeling that, and honestly, openly declaring to people, I am the happiest I've ever been. I distinctly remember vividly saying that to somebody that we worked with. And she was like, hey, how you doing? What's the most common response? Oh, hey, I'm good. How are you doing? I truly felt it, and I just beaming, hey, I'm the happiest I've ever been. People are gonna be like, whoa, what are you doing in life? I want some of that. So as I wrap up, again, I just want to summary again. Hey, identify where you're at in the day, be self-aware with it, of where you're at in the state. What did you allow? And try and focus on making that your top priority of creating a higher state, higher number. And honestly, next level is creating a 10 every single day, because there's going to be a barrier sometimes where you can't get past an 8 or a 9. But if you can just push past it, you're going to condition yourself that it's going to be easier to get to a 10 every single day. I promise, again, your life will be different as you apply this concept. So we love you guys so much. Obviously, love your life. Let us know if you have any questions or comments, but we're going to keep doing some of these personal development videos, and we're so excited because we just feel like for your external world to change, you got to change your internal world. And again, focus on that state. That's your power. That's your inner power. That's your inner superpower. We love you. Hope you have a great day. And remember, love your life. Make sure to like and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, put them down below, or any ideas. We'd love to hear about them. Be sure to stay tuned for any new videos we'll be putting out. And remember, love your life.